Aloha, everyone. My name is David Kubota. I'm employed by Kapilani Community College in the English department. I'm very pleased and honored to be serving as your Zoom concierge for today's session. Please also consider attending and participating in our other Big Read programming events. And if you happen to be a KCC student, consider entering your Big Read inspired work in the writing contest that is open to KCC students. The web addresses for these events shall be placed in the chat. Attendees, please note that the meeting is being recorded for posterity. We encourage you to continue to mute your Zoom microphone at this time so that you might focus attention upon today's presenter, Shari. Questions can be posted in the chat area, and Shari will do her best to answer the questions as they arise. Big Read Hawaii is a celebration of poetry, art, and storytelling organized by Kapiolani Community College Library and funded by a grant from the National Endowment for the Arts in partnership with Arts Midwest. Look out for more Big Read events all throughout April 22nd, 2022, including free books and take and make kits supporting community reading across all of the islands of Hawaii. On behalf of NEA Big Read Hawaii, we formally welcome you to Kachashii 101, Learn How to Dance Like an Okinawan. Shari Tamashiro is a producer of the Hawaii Eisa Festivals and was designated a World Eisa Ambassador by the Okinawan government. She has managed the Yuimaaru Learning Room at the Okinawan Festival for many years and created the popular How to Be More Okinawan series. We are very excited that you took time from your busy Saturday afternoon schedule to join us, and we hope that you enjoy Shari's presentation. We also encourage you to experience the pure joy of this dance so that we can all showcase our best dance moves with each other post-COVID. Without further ado, Shari Tamashiro.
Aloha, welcome to Kachashii 101. I want to first thank NEA Big Read Hawaii for sponsoring this, Kapiolani Community College Library, Joy Ohlers and David Kubota for helping with the back end of this event, and all of you for joining us today. This session is for Okinawans and Okinawans at heart, and I hope all feel welcome here. My name is Shari Tamashiro. I want to stress that I am not a dance sensei. I'm a librarian at KCC. But here's the thing. For years, I would always sit and watch people get up to dance Kachashii because I didn't know what to do and I'm not a good dancer. But then people kept dragging me onto the stage and it was painfully embarrassing to be amidst all these dancers who knew what to do and looked great. And I was flailing about trying to copy them on a stage with people watching. So I asked an Odori dance sensei if we could have classes for people like me. And their response was, no need class, it's so easy. That answer made me feel bad because it was not easy for me and for many other people. So I started learning from as many dancers in Hawaii and Okinawa as I could. With that, I developed a How to Dance Like an Okinawan class so that we can all be empowered to get up and dance Kachashii, because Kachashii should be fun and it should be joyous and not a painful thing. And honestly, it's wonderful being able to join in on the celebration. So this is what we're going to do today. I'm going to talk about what is Kachashii, and then I'm going to go over the basics with you. We will then practice what we have learned and have a share time because we have some excellent Kachashii dancers here today who I'd like to share their style with everyone. And we're going to have a bonus Okinawan finger whistling demo and tips from John Itomura and my dad, George Tamashiro. And then we're going to end with a Kachashii dance party. So if you have any questions while I am talking or want to comment, please do so in the chat box. You'll see it at the bottom of your screen, and I will try to get to it as soon as possible. So let's start with what is Kachashii. Kachashii is an Okinawan folk dance that's typically accompanied by sanshin, the stringed instrument, and drum, and it's punctuated with finger whistling, known as yubi bue. And Kachashii usually happens at the end of a party or an event, and it's a celebration. And sometimes it gets even kind of wild, especially when alcohol is involved. So one description I've heard is that Kachashii can be seen as like a battle between the musicians and the dancers, because as long as there's live music, you know, as long as there is a dancer dancing, the musicians still have to keep playing. But the secret weapon for the musician is that they speed up the music to make the dancers tired. And in that, you see the battle going on. And I heard a story a long time ago that I absolutely loved. I heard Henry Isara would not stop dancing. And finally, Sanda, the lead head sanchin, had to get on the mic and say, enough already, Henry, stop, we tired, pow. And so, you know, Henry the dancer beat the musicians. And I think Henry might be here today, but I just want to do a shout out for him because he is one of my favorite Kachashii dancers, because he dances with so much joy. And obviously he will just keep dancing no matter what. So let's go over the basics. And, you know, if you're comfortable with it, you know, just show your video screen. That way I can kind of see your movement. But I think the hand motion is the hardest part of Kachashii. Now, women are going to have their hands and palms open. Men are going to make a fist, but the motion that they make is the same. Now, I want everybody to raise their hands like this. You notice that my palms are facing each other. So I'm going to keep my left hand facing this direction. Now, my right hand, what you're going to have to do, hold on, let me scoot back a bit. So your right hand, you have to twist your elbow, not painfully, but just twist your elbow and then turn your wrist. Do you see that my palms are now facing the same direction? So again, when we start off, let's turn our elbow and turn our wrist, not to the point that you're in pain. So let's have it. And then you can kind of make one hand, the left hand higher than the other. Now, taking a look at your hand, let's kind of tilt it so that the heel of your palm is actually what is leading. And so once we have this motion, we're gonna kind of do like a side swipe. Now, this is the hard part. We have to turn around. So let's practice this swipe a little bit. So again, we are twisting our elbow and turning our wrist on our right hand so that our palms are facing the same way. And we're gonna just do a comfortable sway. Now, at this point, we have to turn around. So I'm gonna drop my hand. So what I do is I usually drop my middle finger to my thumb. So I kind of drop it and I curl my hand and I turn. So now our right hand is facing. We have to turn the elbow and the wrist of our left hand now. And then we do the same side motion. Drop, curl, turn, and we're going back. I'm gonna do this for a while because I think this is so important, because this is kind of foundational, right? So I want you to take a look at my hands. My fingers are open, right? Watch what happens when I dance with my fingers open versus when I dance with my fingers closed. It looks much better when your fingers are closed, right? So if you can, try to keep your fingers closed. So get to the point, so you can, it doesn't have to be like really stiff like this. You can just start gently moving. But what's really important is twisting your elbow, twisting your wrist so that we can get that right hand facing the same direction as my left palm. Drop, turn, drop, turn. So for men, it's same motion, drop, turn, turn. And I want to emphasize that, you know, this is just the basics, where Kachashii is kind of seen as like a type of, actually, I jumped ahead. I want to explain something really fast to you. The word Kachashii technically refers to a type of music, which you're going to hear later today. Another name for the dance is achame. And there have been a lot of discussions about what is the proper word to use. So I asked Choichi Terukina sensei, who is a living treasure of Japan, and he said use Kachashii. So it translates to mixing. So it's not like a bon dance where everyone dances in a circle doing the same thing, though sometimes people do it in a circle if there's no space, but you move around a lot and mix it up. So what I want you to remember is that Kachashii is a freestyle dance that people develop their own styles for. So what we just did right now is kind of like basics that can be the foundation for you. And once you're comfortable with it, you can adjust it however you like and have fun, or be like me and just stick to the basics, right? So I think you should, experiment with different motions, things that like Okinawans from South America, I've seen some of them mix it up with samba. You can really do whatever you want with it. And that's what makes it kind of fun. I'm gonna play a video of Jane Higa of Lanakila Nenchosa Club demonstrating the hand motion at a Kachashii 101 class we had at Okinawan Festival, because Jane Sensei breaks it down so wonderfully. And I actually learned a lot from her. So the volume in this, the music is low, but what I want you to do is focus on her hands, her movements, and her voice, because she's the master. So I'm going to play it a couple times. So what I want you to do is, because we went over the basics, I want you to follow along with Jane Sensei and practice and start refining.
So you turn like this. So, okay, go fast. When you go fast, okay, go. Okay, close, open, close, open. So, yes, just like that. So eventually, you stay goes. It stays stiff. It stays just stiff. You go close your, and then open, close, and open. And while you're doing that, you're gonna get that rhythm. And this. So you turn like this. So, okay, go fast. When you go fast, okay, go. Okay, close, open, close, open. So yes, just like that. So eventually, you see goes. It stays stiff. It stays just stiff. You go close your, and then open, close, and open. And while you're doing that, you're gonna get that rhythm.
So I don't know if you could hear her words, but can we mirror you, or do we pay attention to your right? So we do opposite. Laurie asked about mirroring. David or Joyce, can you answer her on that one? I'm not sure about the answer to that. So what Jane Higa was talking about was try not to be stiff, because if we're doing the motion where we just go and then we kind of like turn and go like this, so that motion of when we turn and we drop, our middle finger to our thumb, curl and turn, open again and go back the other way, that clenching of the fist is the one that is making it a little more graceful. But one thing about Kachashii is it doesn't have to be graceful. It can be danced fierce, or it can be danced funny, it can be danced graceful. And the thing is, just anything goes. There's nothing wrong, about how you do it. But are people kind of getting it where it's like sliding? So if you notice, what I do is, instead of going like straight across, I like Jane Sensei goes above, kind of like a sliding diagonal motion. And so, as you get better at it, the whole process of it gets faster and faster. So turn. And then what you can do too is you can start tilting your head in the directions that your hand is moving. Yeah, so Garrett Cam made a good point where he says it's free form, but keep to the rhythm. Well, so honestly, so as you're moving your hands and as we bounce, as we do our feet, we will be moving to the rhythm of the music, which can be fast, which can be slow. So actually, again, to go over the tips, remember, keep an eye on your hands. Look at the difference when our hands are wide open versus when our fingers are together. And again, it's really important, twist your elbow, twist your wrist, and that's how we're moving. So if you take a look at my hands, we've got the palms. I think this is the hardest part for people, but it's just remember, start off with palms facing, twist elbow, twist wrist, and they'll suddenly be facing the same way. And movement, finger down, curl fist, turn. Okay, I have to actually ask, how do I mirror on my screen? I've never done that. Well, if someone can chat and tell me how to do the mirror thing.
All right, Shari, I think there's an option in there. I'll see if I can find it.
Okay, thank you. All right, so one thing is, I have a fun way of learning Kachashii is actually this. So if you are from the country, and if you picture in your mind sugarcane stalks waving in the wind, so hands are high above your head and you're kind of swaying like sugarcane stalks waving in the wind. So if you're able to, let's be sugarcane. And the fun part is that, you know, if you're not from the country and you don't know what that looks like, what we can do is open a window, turn, close the window, open the window, close the window. To be honest though, like when I dance with my hands up high, at some point I get really tired. And so what I end up doing is dropping my hands lower like a window so that I can get a rest. When I'm really tired, I start clapping with the music to get a break until I'm ready to start dancing again. So, you know, if you're a kupuna, I've seen a lot of kupuna bounce more than they step. And they don't actually do as much motion with their hands that they do. So that's like another option. So I'm going to share a video of Hideo Kaneshiro, who actually turned 100 last year, and he's still doing really good. But I want you to see how Hideo dances. I think this was like, he was 96 when I recorded this video. You'll notice that he doesn't do as much, you know, movement, but he still has this really, I don't know if it's sassy or just a really wonderful style. And let me share that. Actually, so that was 7 years ago. So yeah, I guess he was 93 or 94 at the time. But I think that shows you a lot of different styles. And you know what's really interesting is I used to see a lot of elderly, well, kupuna, female women just dancing Kachashii, and it really looked like they were gonna fight with each other. It was so aggressive. And honestly, that's how I want to be able to dance Kachashii one day, because I love the interaction. So, you know, right now you're learning a style of being able to just dance, but maybe later on you can start interacting with other dancers by circling or just starting to dance or challenge each other, which is really fun. So I think let's kind of talk a little bit about steps. So, you know, with the steps, it's just improvising. It's kind of hard because I'm not going to be able to play the music for you, but you're basically stepping to the music. Again, kupuna can bounce and step, but we'll go over that as we are practicing. So actually, John Itomura, John, are you on? Can you unmute? So I'm showing you how women dance, right? And I wanted to have someone else show how the men dance so you can kind of see the different style, but I'm not sure if John is on. So if John,
can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, I'm with your lovely parents.
Oh yeah, hi Papa Shiro, hi Mama Shiro.
Aloha. Okay, all right.
So for those who don't know, John Itomura is the executive director of the Hawaii United Okinawa Association. And he's with my parents, George Tamashiro and Emmeline Tamashiro. And I asked them to come help out. And hey, Joy, can you remove spotlight so that we can have John's window highlighted? Yay. So they're actually filming live from the Hawaii Okinawa Center.
Okay, so you were saying that you wanted to see a little bit of the guys dance, and you were mentioning the women doing this, right? Well, the guys, I guess we want to be a lot more chikara. So we have our fists closed. And so you would see, of course, I want to do Hawaii style. So I usually do shaka. That way, when people see us doing Kachashii in Okinawa, they're like, oh, they must be from Hawaii. But like Shari said, some people bounce, but it's very important, Kachashii achame, to move your legs. So you want to show a lot of energy, and that's why the more you can move your legs, just like when you do Eisa, same thing. Use your legs, show your energy.
John, can you show normal Kachashii for men, not the shaka Kachashii?
Oh, you would just have your fist closed. So the movement is the same. It's just that generally they would be keeping their hands closed. And like she said, Shari said, there's no right way, but generally the direction that I'm looking, I usually have that arm out.
Thank you, John. So Myrna, you have your hand up. Okay, actually, Karen Kubahori. So I wanted you to maybe see some other styles or tips that you may have. John, can you mute again, and then Karen? And then after Karen, I'm actually going to call on David Jones and then Cece and her dad. But Karen, can you unmute? Okay, maybe
Okay,
not.
sure, I'm here.
Oh, yay. Okay. So this is Karen Kubahori, who is with Huyo Laulima, the Okinawa Women's Organization. So Karen, how is your style?
Okay, I can't see my video, so I'm not sure how I'm looking at, but
Okay, hold
My-
on, Joy, you need to, I guess the spotlight needs to switch to Karen.
What's her last name? Is that
Karen Kubahori,
or it might be Kuba too.
or Kuba too.
Okay, I'm not seeing her. If you unmute, I'll put it on speaker.
Okay. Okay, watch out, Judy. Could be on video, please. Okay.
Oh,
Ah,
hey, Karen. Oops.
Where are you? I don't know. Okay, ready? I
Hi.
like open hand. So you go this way, but I love the footwork. So can you see my footwork? Sorry, I'm in a wait, hold on. I apologize. I'm not sure. Can you guys see me now, Shari?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
See your
By the way,
movement.
if you can imagine my legs, if you cannot see them, it's just moving with, and you bounce with the music, and it's happy. And what I like about Kachashii is that you can actually, it's a friendly dance, and you can actually invite people to dance with you. So if you notice you're at a party, and you know some people, you think they want to come and join you, but they're shy, they don't know anyone there, or perhaps if they're not Okinawan, you can actually invite them to dance with you. And that's the fun part about it. It's a friendly dance, and so you can actually interact with people on the floor and dance with them. So this way. And then and love to move around. And that way you can meet other people when you dance.
That's lovely.
Okay.
Thank you, Karen.
You're welcome.
So Joy, I want to call on David Jones next, if you can find him and spotlight him. David Jones is the current president of the Hawaii United Okinawa Association, and he's actually dialing in with his kids, I think, his family. Hi, David.
Hi, how's it going, everybody? Can you hear me
So-
okay?
Yes, we can hear you. Hi.
How's it going, everybody? Yes, so my name is David, and I think it's so great that we have 133 people attending this. What a wonderful way for many of you who may be experts or curious to learn. So I hope that when I see you all out in the next event very soon, that they'll give you the confidence to dance. But for me, so I follow what John Laura had mentioned, where I try to keep an open fist or closed fist, and I like to follow the martial arts. I did a little bit of dabble, a little bit in Okinawan dance, and I was always mesmerized by the men's classical dance, which had more of like a stronger karate type movement. So I actually when I dance, I try to make it more of a strong movement, like karate, like more fast, left, right, left, right. And have that little bit of snap as I go forward. So that's just my style. But again, like Shari mentioned, I don't think there's any wrong way to do it. So, and I feel like it looks better. In fact, when there's everybody doing their own style, and we have a whole room full of people doing, doing differently. So, yeah, thank you, everybody. Any
Hey,
questions?
David, can you demo Heishi? Or
Heishi.
explain Heishi and demo it for them? Because I think that should be
Yeah.
another class, yeah?
Yeah, so Heishi, right? Heishi is typically, you might hear it in a Kachashii, because you hear people dancing, laughing, maybe whistling, and when you really want to get into it, you can Heishi. So typically, you hear Heishi and Eisa, where you hear the Hiya, Sasa, Aiya, and so I'm also part of the Young Okinawans of Hawaii. And we perform Eisa at various bon dances, where we have the odaiko and we have dancers as well too. And typically you'll hear a chant going back and forth between the drummers and dancers. And typically the drummers, at least for us, the drummers will say hiya sa sa, and then the dancers will call back and say aiya, and then the drummers will say Natiche. And then the dancers would say Aiya. So, hiyasasa, I mean, you don't hear it just, you probably heard it at even Okinawan concerts. And so I think, I feel like it's, when you really want to get into it, you're really happy. You're so happy with what you're seeing on stage. Sometimes I feel like it's appropriate to say hiya sasa, or when you're excited, you just say hiya sasa just to cheer them on. So, yep. So hiya sasa, and then usually the crowd would say iya. Yeah.
Can we try? I mean, I know everyone's muted, but they can yell at home, right?
Yep. So Han, you gotta say iya. So I'm gonna just say hiya sasa, and then Lori will say iya. So. Okay, ready? Hiya sasa.
Hiya.
Natiche.
Hiya.
Perfect. And typically, if this was, I didn't want to break everybody's speaker, but usually I'm used to like saying it from the gut and saying it as loud as possible and trying to get as many people to do it at the same time. So.
And I think what's wonderful about it is the participation, right? Where it's not just the performers, the audience. It's like a call-in response where the audience can get into it. Can I just say
more energy, the better.
Oh, and I see baby. But thank you so much. And I'm gonna turn it over to Clarice Kobayashi and her dad. So the spotlight is actually Gary Kobashigawa.
Yeah, he's coming.
She's going to be the president of HOA next year, and she's the current chair of Okinawan Festival. And we're putting you on the spot. So, Joy, Gary Kobashigawa, thank you.
Hi, Shari.
Hi.
I'm here with my dad. And he is much more exuberant when it comes to Kachashii than I am. So I hope to learn from him one day. So.
And I love it when daughters get their fathers to do stuff that maybe they don't want to do.
Yeah. This is great. Yes. Yeah. Apparently he knows your dad as well.
Oh, okay.
So yeah. Say hi, Dad. Did you want him to you want to do Kachashii?
Oh, no.
Okay.
Mine is freestyle. I really don't have a set style.
Okay, we won't put you on the spot like that.
Thank you.
Sorry.
No
Thanks,
problem.
Shari.
Thank you.
So I'm gonna actually play a video for you. It's just a fun Kachashii that happened at an Aloha party after an Okinawan festival some years ago. You'll be able to see the different styles, just the joy of the dance. But while you watch it, please be practicing or be inspired. And this video is gonna go up on Big Read's YouTube, and I actually have a YouTube channel that I'm collecting Kachashii videos. So I'll share the URL later so that you can watch it later at your own time. But this is a great way to kind of be inspired and see different styles. So let's try this. So, I mean, you kind of saw just the sheer volume of different styles and the sheer joy, which is why it's one of my favorite videos that I was able to capture. So I'm putting the link to that YouTube channel so that you can take a look at it later in the chat function. And, you know, David mentioned heishi, the call-in response. There's another element to Kachashii that I wanted to introduce you to, which is Yuibue, or Okinawan finger whistling. And actually, I'm going to need the spotlight on Johnny Tamura, so the Hawaii United Okinawan Association again. And there is a legend that is told that Okinawa was beset by pirates and typhoons back in the day, and they needed a way to warn people across a long distance that danger was coming. And so they developed this really piercing, distinctive whistle style that would warn. But over time, it has become incorporated into music, and you will hear it. And so I asked my father if he and John can demonstrate it. Now, the traditional way for Okinawa is like almost like a 7, but that is really hard. So I just say whistle however you want. Now, this is really hard to learn. So this is just an introduction. Maybe we'll do a class about it one day. So I want you to listen. So I'm turning it over to you guys, John and Papa Shiro.
Okay, I'm gonna start with Papa Shiro, our master whistler here. And oftentimes when there are Okinawa events here at HUA or around town, or even in Okinawa, I've witnessed his loud, shrill of a whistle. So we'll start with George. So very impressive, very impressive. So you try to do it one more time, and maybe people can see how your fingers face the, look at the camera. So he's using 2 fingers. He uses his index finger and his 4th finger. That's pretty interesting. You noticed in the video, you see some people just using 1 finger. They're using that and pressing that against their tongue. I've seen a lot of women in Okinawa do that, and they whistle real loud. I'm like George. I use 2 fingers. I don't use those 2. I use my thumb and my middle finger. And so, again, it's really there's no really rhyme, or, you know, usually it depends on the song, it depends on the beat. And I gotta show you one more thing, Shari. You know, there's a lot of interesting whistles. People said, wow, it's hard to learn. So you go to Okinawa, I've seen some porcelain whistles, pottery whistles. I've seen the bamboo with the stick, and you can play it like a trombone. And but Begin gave kids a nose whistle, and I brought one with me today. And you see, it's this little piece here. Oh, you see, Shari has that, and you can actually play songs, or you can just whistle. Or you can just whistle to heishi.
Amazing.
Thank you, Shari.
So Kathleen asked, where are the fingers placed in the mouth? So it's the underside of the tongue, right? Where you're pushing kind of into like a U shape, and you're blowing down between your fingers. So
I'm gonna zoom in on George here, so some of you can see what he does. Okay, go ahead.
Dad, can you, before you put your fingers in, can you show what your tongue looks like? Like Carl? So are you pushing the fingers underneath the tongue and kind of making it into a U shape like this?
I just barely touching my tongue.
Okay. But you're blowing down, right?
Yes, and blowing down.
So you know what my dad told me is that the trick to practicing is not to keep blowing really hard in the beginning. So as he's touching his tongue with his two fingers, you're kind of blowing softly and adjusting where your fingers are and how you're kind of shaping your tongue until you get a sound. So that's probably the best. Well, I mean, probably should wash your hands first, but the second thing is to then softly blow and adjust how the fingers are shaping your tongue, but you're blowing down. So as you know, like we kind of make you're blowing down this way, yeah? Mine is wimpy. But you know, I think we should have a class about this. So we'll work on a video of how to whistle like an Okinawan class. Do you have anything else you guys want to add?
No, I mean, I think what's important is my perception is, you know, when you hear music, it gets you excited. Well, a lot of people will either Kachashii or Achame, that's usually at the end. But if it's at the beginning of a show or a performance or your friends are playing, you know, it's Okinawan style just to, if you don't know the words, hey, whistle, you know, so clap, a lot of people clap and a lot of people whistle. So don't be ashamed because you're just really showing your Chimigukuru or your Okinawan spirit.
I think you want to show appreciation for the entertainer on a stage. When you whistle, you encourage them and show appreciation.
Okay, so actually, thank you very much. And let's do a class later, but what I want to show you guys is actually some things you can go that's way beyond. So I was in Okinawa for a taikai, and I saw this gentleman from South America who was actually dancing with a beer can on his head. So, you know, that's actually, it's not a full can of beer and it's not an empty can. It's like a partially full one. So it has enough weight to kind of hold it on your head. Now, the other thing that I've seen that I want to learn how to do is that they actually oops, we need to mute who's ever coughing. Is that they put an isho bin, which is a 1.8 liter bottle of sake, partially filled. This one, because it's so big, I've seen like a handkerchief or a small cloth folded to make your head flat. But people can actually dance with that isho bin on their head, which I think is really amazing. So let me show you that. So that's like something maybe to aspire to. How's that? I think that was actually amazing. So, you know, again, we have a lot to kind of filter through, but what I want to do is end with a dance party so that you can actually get up. If you cannot get up, it's fine to dance from your chair seated, but let's all get up or sit, but let's dance Kachashii together. No one's watching, no one's judging. This is a good time to practice all of the elements that we talked about. So I think if you can, or if you're okay turning on your video, please do so, because I think that'll be really fun. And I don't know, how long do you think you guys can dance for? Again, remember, if you get tired, lower it to the window. If you get super tired, start clapping until you're ready to start dancing again. But let's get up if you can, and let's get ready for our Kachashii dance party. So Joy, let's switch to gallery view. And I think I'll just keep the music going until we get to the end of this, and let's have fun. So everyone ready? I'm gonna say Chibario, let's do this and have fun.
Yo! Yeah!
How was that? It's like a workout, right?
What a workout.
So I forgot to mention that probably the most popular Kachashii song is Toshin Doi, and that's actually what we were listening to. So Toshin Doi, let me put it in everyone. So in the Toshin Doi, so in the YouTube channel I have this link to Kinjo-san and Yonaha-san playing Kachashii music. So this is a good one for you to practice too. There's other videos with people dancing, so you can, dance along and watch them as well, which is actually really good. And I think heishi, whistling, dancing is all good stuff. And I think it's great if Phil said he's tired already. I think good workout. Actually, the whole video for this Kachashii is 21 minutes, but I thought that was too long to get everyone to dance to, yeah? But does someone had a question where they asked, will this be a recording? So again, if you scroll up to the top of the chat, there is a link to Big Read Hawaii's YouTube channel, or just, Google NEA, N-E-A, Big Read Hawaii. And as I mentioned, there's a lot of participating libraries. So if you look it up, Lee Tonouchi's Okinawan Princess is available for free at some libraries. So David Jones, this would be great for your kids. You can go pick up a copy, and it's about Okinawan hand tattooing. And, I'm actually talking with HUOA right now. So maybe we will do a series of these How to Be More Okinawan videos. And it would be so cool to have Kachashii 101 and Kachashii 202, where maybe the sensei can come and teach you more fancy elements beyond my teaching level, but then they can do that. And so I'm going to wrap this up. I want to thank everyone who came to take part. I want to thank everyone who jumped up to demonstrate. And I really hope that this will get you started to the point that you will get up and go dance with everybody, because it's fun. And I think that this is something we really have to do, because when everyone is sitting, it's really hard for the musicians to kind of just play to an empty room. And being able to dance and be a part of it is just so much fun. And I hope all of us can get to the point of that video I played of the Aloha Party, where we just have like a ridiculously fun time. So anyone have any last minute burning questions? Or Joy, do you want to have any last things to share? I think you are going to get an email from Big Read Hawaii asking for your feedback. If you can fill that out, they would appreciate it a lot, because that helps them with the grant that they got to support it. And other than that, maybe keep an eye out for Hawaii United Okinawa Association has a YouTube channel. I think HOA's YouTube channel. So hopefully we can maybe put up some How to Be More Okinawan classes there. So subscribe and follow them too. And maybe we'll get some content out this year. So I will just say goodbye. And this is from Clarice. So Okinawan Festival looks like it's going to be live in person this year, September 3rd and 4th, 2022. So Clarice, the festival chairperson, is asking everyone to start practicing. Yes, we will absolutely do that, Clarice. And thank you for all that you do. And okay, so Joy is saying there's a 1-question evaluation when this Zoom ends. So if you can fill it out, that helps us get with the grant and the possibility of holding this event again in 2 years. So if you can take the time, that would be much appreciated. And I think that's it. Thank you. Go drink some Orion Aomori, eat some Okinawan food, and let's practice. John Tasato says next Kachashii, we will do a Taikai global competition. Deal.
Thank you very much for attending this NEA Big Read Hawaii session. And thank you so much to Shari and all of the content area experts. Tonight at 7 p.m., we are screening a really great locally produced film called Waikiki the Movie. And we're having a producer of that film do a Q&A session after that film. It's an excellent movie about Waikiki and some of the illusions and stereotypes put forth about Waikiki via tourism, as well as the harsh realities behind that facade. We look forward to seeing you at the film. Thank you very much for attending.
Because it was all
Thank you, Shari.